In the aftermath of the 2024 election, America is even more divided than before. Half the country fears the end of democracy, and the other half welcomes it. As America inches toward the brink of authoritarian rule, now more than ever, we must force ourselves to have the necessary conversation. Welcome to the Necessary Conversation. I'm Chad Kultgen. With me is my sister, Haley Pope, fellow lefty. You were out protesting this week, I saw.
Yes.
We'll get to that. Also joining me are my mom and dad, deep in the QAnon MAGA conspiracy pit. You worship Donald Trump as a god, and we are going to talk about, hopefully today, the 6 top political issues of the week, if we can get to all of them. I do hope we can, because they were all important. But before we do that, Mom, you usually open with ditties, but this week you have sent me a special file.
Okay, I'll talk real quick about this. I did this several times because someone, unfortunately, forgot to tell me vertical or horizontal.
No, I told you
when
vertical the
videoed
entire
it.
time. Told you
I had
vertical
no
since
help.
day one.
What?
Told you vertical since day one.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't listen. I'm just
course you
terrible.
did.
I'm a terrible person. I didn't listen. Also,
Yes.
I had no help filming. Hello. I had to do it when he was asleep. Hello. Because if I touch the Trumpy bear, he gets very angry. So I did this all on my own. There you go.
Can you explain what the Trumpy bear is?
They'll see it in the video. They should.
The video I'm using is the first one you sent me. It's the best performance.
Trumpy
so
bear's not in there.
No.
It's
Explain Trumpy bear.
Trumpy bear is a bear that we bought. It's Trumpy bear. Can I go get Trumpy bear just to show him? No, he'll get mad. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So my mom is musically inclined, and this is a rap song that she made kind of in support of Trump and everything that went on this past week.
Is
Are you
this
ready?
the hat backwards one?
No. Here
No.
we go.
Oh, okay.
Words by me, beats by Chad.
I thought the red shirt
My
one.
name is Patriot Mimi, and I'm backed by popular demand. I'll try to serenade you the best I can. Adam, muffler, you can't even rap. So don't make fun of me or my fam, or I might have to tap. All you do is reviews of old clips. Because if that's all you can bring, then you're full of shit. Greenland will soon be celebrating days. They will be happy coming our way to secure and peaceful USA. Greenland will be ours, USA, USA. They will be celebrating happier days. Tariffs are up on us all. People are alarmed. But give it some time, give it some trust. We will be so much better and fine in time. Fine in time.
This was not my best
Bombing
one.
those Teslas. Keep
Damn it.
cleaning them all up. Your ass will look nice and pretty, all striped up and locked up. 20 years in jail without Sleepy Joe's bail. Striped and locked up. Trumpy Bear is the man. 45, 47, and 48. That's when we will truly be great. Our country will be back strong. Peace will come again. It's been way, way too long. Trumpy 48.
Nope.
If you think you can do better, then bring us your rap. If not, just shut your mouth and give me no more crap. Shout out to my Patriots, Jimbo Video Mom, Lady in Pink Edie, Clouds, Pennsylvania Mom, Gail B, and Janice. I love you all. Love is all that matters. Peace out. The end.
Okay.
Wow.
That was not my
Okay.
best one.
No, I agree. You've done better raps in the past. Maybe we'll get
the
another
ones
one in the
I
future.
sent you. The
No,
one I
this was the
sent
best
you.
performance by far. I need to explain quickly who is Adam Mockler, Mom. You're trying to start a beef with him. He is a left-leaning YouTuber who talks about politics that did cover some of our early TikToks, maybe like a month ago or something. And now you have beef with him?
Yeah, well, I saw part. He mentioned our family in one of his YouTube clips, and it wasn't very nice. And he made fun of us.
How
So
old is he?
let's see his rap.
20 something.
And
Okay.
all he really does is replay clips of things
Yeah.
that people say and then rips them apart.
Yeah. All right. Well, Adam Mockler, if you're out there, if you're listening, my mom hates you. If anybody else out
hate him.
there,
I said, bring me a rap.
We hate him.
I do not hate him.
my dad hates you.
We hate him.
Okay. Let's move on. Thank you for that rap, Mom. It was great. I will put it on
He's
TikTok.
a
We'll
loser.
see if
You don't
people
even
like it.
know him. Be quiet.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Okay. We also like to start our program with a question from a listener. If you have a question that you want to send to any of us or to all of us, just record it in a 1 minute or shorter audio or video format. I do give preference to video formats, and send it to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. Are you ready for this week's question? Mom, are you leaving?
I'm ready. I can hear you. I have to sit her down.
Okay. Are you ready, Dad?
Oh, yeah.
Here we go.
Hi, Cultured Family. Jason here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Today, my question is about admitting when you've been wrong. Admittedly, this is not easy to do. However, I think it's a really important part about being a mature adult. So, what are all of your thoughts about admitting when you've been wrong? And secondly, has there been a moment recently that you've been able to do that? Curious about your answers, and I hope you're all doing well. Take care.
All right. An interesting question. I could go first on this one. I was wrong recently. I would say about two things. One, I really did think Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were going to win that election. I thought that it was kind of an overwhelming surge of support for them when she first was announced, financially and otherwise. And obviously, I was completely wrong about that. I would also say that I was wrong about Elon Musk. I thought that he was like a good guy who was here to save us with technology. I now know I was wrong. Haley?
Mine isn't political at all. I admit that I'm wrong quite a bit in this house because I'm a parent, and there are times where like I'll raise my voice or I'll yell at the kids, and it's out of, my life is stressful, and these are the people that I see every day, so they kind of get everything that I've got. So I apologize to my kids and my husband for, like I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have raised my voice. I'm sorry. Apologizing for things that you do when you're dickish is very important, and I want my kids to learn that lesson. So we apologize when we're wrong, for sure.
Mom?
I don't know. I don't know what I've done wrong lately.
Okay. Have you ever been wrong in your life?
Of course, every day I'm probably wrong on things.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't think of a specific one?
Not really like a big one.
Okay.
When we first started the podcast, I thought nobody would listen to this, but 5 people. I guess I'm right. We got about 5 listeners. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Kitty, we don't know.
Dad?
We don't know.
Yeah, I was wrong when I thought that Trump would do 45 and 47. He's also going to do 48.
Okay, so you're not able to admit something you've been wrong about.
Oh, yeah, I'm wrong. I thought he'd be done at 47. I'm wrong. He's going to make it to 48.
Okay. So you just kind of refuse to engage with the question then?
Well,
what is something you've been
you asked
wrong
me a
about?
question, I gave you a fucking answer.
But your answer is a future prediction.
Oh,
Therefore, you can't know if you're wrong about that or not.
Well, I'm wrong because I thought 47 would be the end of it.
Okay.
He's going to be 48.
I'll be honest. I had to put Kitty down. I heard the question, but I didn't really get it. So we're wrong about what? He asked if we're wrong about the future.
Oh my God.
Do you apologize when you are wrong? Do you admit
Yeah, I'm
when
sorry.
you are wrong?
I'm sorry. I was wrong. He's going to be the 48th president.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so the answer is no. You don't
Yes.
apologize.
Dad
You
cannot
never.
do it.
There's no.
We just said yes.
Goddamn, you fuckers don't even take what I say verbatim.
You're not understanding the
You gotta
question,
twi-
or you're
no,
willfully
no.
ignoring the.
You're not understanding the question.
Have
Okay.
you ever done anything terrible to, let's say, me or Chad, or said anything that was wrong and then said you were sorry?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Probably not. I'll say 100% never. Let's move on to our
Oh,
Mom. Are you
hell.
here?
You're 100% full of shit.
All right,
Okay.
Mom, are you there?
I am right here. I'm with the kitty cat.
If you can just sit in the chair for the hour that we do this.
Guess what? I try, but she's right there. I'm afraid she's going to fall off the couch. Go
Is
ahead.
Dad watching TV?
No.
No.
Is it on?
It's in
Turn
your
it on.
glasses. I can literally fucking see it.
I'm not
I'll turn it off.
watching it though.
I'll turn it off.
Thank you.
It's on.
All that I ask is 1 hour per week that we have
No,
a
that isn't
conversation
all
with
that
each
you
other.
ask. You ask a lot of shit.
What's some other shit that I've asked?
I
of
gotta
you?
sit here for 1 hour and listen to you read.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have to listen to me read a little bit right now for our first topic.
Yeah, there you go.
Trump's tariffs.
Power's off. Can
Thank
you
you.
still see it in my glasses?
I can.
Well, it's not on,
It's
smarty.
off. It's black.
It's
All right.
probably the
I would
computer.
turn
Maybe
the
it's a
camera,
computer.
But I'm afraid I would
Okay.
malfunction.
All right, we got 6 topics. Let's get through these here. Tariffs. This week, Trump devastated the stock market again by announcing and implementing more tariffs against
Damn right.
several significant trading partners of the U.S. Among those affected are China, who is seeing a 64% tariff on imports. The EU got a 20% tariff. Japan got 24%. All foreign cars and parts get a 25% tariff. And a baseline 10% tariff was applied to all imports from most other countries. While Trump was playing golf
Let me hold her.
at a Saudi-backed golf tournament, the stock market was crashing as a result of his tariffs. In the 48-hour period after he initiated them, $6.4 trillion was erased from the stock market as the Dow Jones fell by over 2,200 points on Friday, following a 1,679-point drop the previous day, and the NASDAQ fell more than 20% from its December peak under Joe Biden. In response, J.P. Morgan raised the probability of a U.S. recession from 40 to 60%, indicating they think it is likely to happen. The last significant economic downturn in the U.S. attributed to presidentially imposed tariffs occurred after the enactment of the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act in 1930, which raised tariffs over 20,000 imported goods and exacerbated something called the Great Depression. You're both gone now?
No, I'm here.
Where's he?
God, I'm here.
Where's Dad?
You guys are like wrangling fucking kindergartners. What the hell is
He
going
had to go to
on?
the bathroom. Okay.
What? He can't pee before we start?
I told him to. He did not. He not missing it. He can hear you go.
Okay, Dad, how are these tariffs helping regular Americans?
That he said, "What do you want to know?" Oh, how are the
This is
tariffs helping
insane.
America?
He's the one who complains about, I got to sit here and listen to you for an hour every week. It's like he's not even here.
Well, I can tell you how they're not going to help me. So all of my ingredients are going to go up by about 10%. That means I either have to find alternate sources, which is going to be next to impossible, or fucking jack up my prices for people who already can't live in a home, can't feed their fucking kids. So small businesses are about to fucking shatter.
Mm-hmm.
Cocoa, I think is
Nope.
up 10 or
Here's-
20%.
Hang on. Tell Dad he doesn't get to speak unless he's sitting in that chair.
I just told him that you don't get to speak unless you're in the chair and it's your turn, and it's not
I'm going
your
to tell
turn.
you what. I just bought 2 pairs of Nikes online last night.
Oh, just to
Like-
stockpile?
I guess, yeah. They're my favorite
Well,
shoes.
you
I
must
buy
be
everything.
running in money.
Yeah, they
All
cost
right.
$50.
Dad? I want to ask you now,
Tariffs.
how are these tariffs helping regular Americans?
Well, what's going to happen is America's going to see their stock market drop for a little while. Then we're going to see $2 trillion worth of investment coming into the United States of America.
Oh,
And you will see the stock
Okay.
market at 50,000 within 2 years.
all right. So he erased $6 trillion worth of value of the stock market in 48 hours. So if we get $2 trillion coming back, we're still down $4 trillion.
What are you talking about, $2 trillion?
6.3
You just said $2 trillion.
It's
$2
$6.3
trillion
trillion.
in investment.
Uh-huh.
That's
All
not
right.
what the stock market's going to do.
Uh-huh. Mom,
Stock market's going to go to 50,000. It was at what, 40?
I've
But
seen many Republicans saying that as a talking point, and it may.
the last
You
time
hear
this
many
happened,
Republicans, you hear many economists on both sides saying that.
Not J.P. Morgan.
Oh,
last
J.P.
time-
Morgan and old Mr. Diamond. Yeehaw. I've
The
got
last
money at
time-
J.P. Morgan, and they're one of the worst fucking performers out there.
the last time this happened was in what, the 1930s?
Oh my God!
Great-
Now you're going to go back to 1930. Do you think that the world and our economy is the same as it was in the 30s? How
I
stupid
sure
are
fucking
you?
How stupid am I?
Yeah,
We're
how
about to hit
stupid are
another
you?
Great Depression,
No,
motherfucker.
well, we're going.
And what
in
got them out
between.
of the
We're
Great
either going to become a
Depression-
nationalist country or we're going to become communists.
And what got them
And if
out
we
of the Great
become
Depression
communists, you won't have a stock market.
was a fucking world war.
No, we won't.
Okay, Trump had tariffs the very first.
You've been talking World War on because of Trump since he took office.
Wait a second. Wait a second. Both of you were talking World War III every week when Biden was in office.
That's before Trump became reelected.
Trump had tariffs the very first time, the first term.
You like twisting
when
shit.
When he was elected, and it did nothing but strengthen our America back then. But it takes time. All you guys are freaking out. These tariffs won't be forever.
Your idea of long term is 6 months.
50 countries have already called to him saying, how can we make this right? Let's do this. Let's make this right. Let's make it fair. He was elected on this. He said he was going to do this. This is why people elected him. And now
he was elected. No, he was
elected.
No,
not everybody.
Hang on.
He's whining about it.
On.
Always let Chad talk. Okay.
Go ahead.
He was elected on a promise to lower prices and costs for everyday Americans. So far, that ain't happening.
It will take time with these
What do you mean it ain't happening?
It will happen, Chad. I truly believe it'll
Eggs
happen.
and gas are already cheaper.
All right. When do you think the stock market is
Eggs and gas are already cheaper. Fact.
Okay.
Fact.
Okay. When do you
don't
think...
say it isn't happening.
Right. It isn't happening. People's 401ks just got erased.
Oh, now we're talking about 401k. We weren't talking about the stock market 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Huh?
And what did I tell you about the 401ks?
Yeah, we were.
What did I tell you about the 401ks?
Tell me.
No, we were talking about the price of eggs and gas, and you jumped it right back to where you were to start with. So you're so full of shit, it's ridiculous.
All right.
The customs border people, where things are coming in, going out.
Yeah.
United States, since the day that he put those tariffs on already, we are collecting $200 million a day. Mm-hmm. He's doing this to make it fair trade for other countries against us and for us.
Y'all don't get it.
It's going to take time. It will be okay, I promise. And in the long run, we'll be making a lot more money for our country and everybody else. But then you won't celebrate him.
It's just like you told me I'm going to lose my Social Security. I got a deal in the mail saying it's going to go up.
All right. Well, we'll see. That's where we're at with the tariffs now. Let's move on to our next topic.
There we go.
Wrongful deportation. This week, we found out that Trump wrongfully deported a 29-year-old El Salvadorian immigrant residing in Maryland named Kilmar Abrigo Garcia to the El Salvadorian mega prison known for human rights violations. Abrigo Garcia, married to a U.S. citizen and father to a U.S.-born child, had been granted protection from deportation in 2019 after an immigration judge recognized his credible fear of persecution by gangs in El Salvador. Trump's administration called the mistake an, in quotes, administrative error. U.S. District Judge Paula Zinnes ordered the Trump administration to facilitate Abrigo Garcia's return to the United States by 11:59 p.m. on April 7th. That is tomorrow night, as of our recording on Sunday. However, officials, including White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, lied about the U.S. government lacking the authority to retrieve him from the El Salvadorian prison, and it seems they have no plans on correcting what they admit was an error on their part. Dad, does Kilmar Abrigo Garcia deserve to be in an El Salvadorian mega prison?
Yes.
Even
Why?
though...
Why? He's a criminal.
He's not.
Yeah,
Absolutely
he is.
not.
M13.
No, he's not.
He's a gang member of the 13.
He's not.
No, he's
Yeah,
not.
he used to be.
How do you know this? Why did I read that's why?
How do you know?
There?
How do you fucking know? You don't.
The Trump
He's
administration.
He's tattooed all over hell with that stuff.
Haley is tattooed from her chin to her toes.
Yeah, but it doesn't say MS-13 on it.
Neither do his tattoos.
Neither does his.
Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
All I've read, I read that all I've read is that our government is saying he was a member, that he was a gang, and that's why he's there. But then he and his wife are saying no, he never was. So again, you got to pick a side. I don't know.
If there's any doubt,
they made an
if
error.
there's any doubt, get them out.
No, but there is no doubt. The Trump administration has said this was wrong. It was
It's
an
all right.
error. They admitted doing something wrong.
The Trump administration can do what it wants.
This is somebody's fucking. This is someone's
the law
and father.
Read my lips. He's the law.
Okay.
No, but they even are admitting that they have.
Well, then they'll bring him back. And what's your problem?
No, they've
They
said
have
that
no
they're not going to
intention.
bring him back.
Okay, and what's your problem?
My problem is they can just snatch up anybody they want, send them to this mega prison, and never bring them back, even if they admit doing something wrong.
Where's he from?
What? Dad,
Where's he
I just
from?
have to ask you, are you capable of not
you
speaking
answer one
over
of my
someone
fucking
else?
questions without giving me a question back. Where's he from?
Maryland.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Where was he born and raised?
Irrelevant.
Oh, it's irrelevant.
All right.
No,
Correct.
it's very relevant.
A U.S. judge said he could stay
I don't
here.
give a shit what a U.S. judge said.
So you think everybody who lives in the United States that was born in a different country should fucking leave?
If they're not legal, you bet your ass.
So Elon Musk
is
then.
Pack
legal.
them up and get them out.
He's married to a United States citizen.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
By law, that makes you legal
No,
here.
that's the old law. The law is now Donald Trump's law.
So you
And
think
whatever he decides, that's what's going to happen.
So-
Because you're either a nationalist and for America, or you're a fucking communist, which
So
you
by-
and Chad are both communists.
Okay.
by
next
your
week-
logic, you think any person not fucking born here needs to leave?
That's correct.
they're baiting you. Okay.
I don't give a shit whether they're baiting me. These two don't have any bait.
Let's.
They're communists. They're going to be deported too if they don't watch it.
Wait a minute. Hang on, Dad. Why do you think me and Haley are communists?
Because you're either a nationalist, all for America, or you're on the other side of the coin, which is headed towards communism in this country.
Okay.
Therefore, you and Haley are both, you don't even realize you're fucking communists, but you are.
Okay.
Now go ahead and make another question about,
Bob,
bubble gum.
Watch
What?
this. I would like to say this. Next
Fucking
week,
tired of
let's
this
see
shit.
if he is brought back to the United States. I have read they are bringing him. You have read they're not bringing him. I
Yeah.
have read he's a gang member. You have read he's not.
Mhm.
So
No,
that's
the gang member thing
problem we
is
have
fake.
here.
Why are we arguing about this? It doesn't matter.
What
It's one fucking guy
'Cause
that
I'm-
I don't give two shits
Because
about.
the greater scope of things is that they can do this to fucking anyone.
No, they can't. If you were
They
born in
just
America.
did.
No, he didn't.
Haley, I
He
will
is
be
a
honest.
He
legal
did not.
citizen.
That guy was not born in America, so shut it up.
Let me talk. Haley, I do get scared when you were handing out those, what do you call them? That if you're not a citizen and to do this.
Miranda rights for immigrants.
No, you weren't handing out Miranda
No.
rights. but
That's what they are. It
Okay,
tells
that's-
immigrants
No,
their
they're
legal
not.
rights.
Dad,
well, that scares me that you were doing that.
First of all,
No.
this guy you're talking about's not even a U.S. citizen.
All right.
I'm
All right,
not doing
Dad-
anything illegal.
Yeah.
hang on a minute. Dad, you were bringing up that he wasn't born here, so he should get out. Now, when we
right.
were talking about the laws that Trump is trying to pass to make natural-born citizens, children born here, of parents who are not from this country, he's trying to revoke their citizenship. You were for that. So, which is it? If you're born here, you get to stay here, or no?
Yeah, if you're born here, you get to stay here. If you weren't born here, you better have a job with the federal government that allows the law to keep you here.
Okay, so even children born to immigrants, but if they're born here, those are U.S. citizens. You've changed your mind about that.
No, they're gone.
Okay,
They're
so
going
being born
home
here,
with mommy and daddy.
so being born here then doesn't mean anything.
Not anymore. That's the
But
new
you
law.
just said it did.
I know.
That's the old law. You were asking
Okay,
me
so
about
it's
that. Now I'm
new-
telling you the new law. You're
Okay,
either a nationalist or a communist.
so it's new law versus old law,
That's
and
right.
so new law
It depends
says
on what you're asking me.
Don't yell.
You asked me 4 different questions at
No.
different segments of this little
yeah. I was hoping you could
run-on
handle a couple of
talk show
questions.
you
but-
got going on.
God.
I'm fucking tired of this same shit over and over.
All right, well, let's move on to something a little new.
You are a fucking communist.
All right,
Okay,
I'll take that and wear that badge proudly. As a communist, I want to
See?
talk about our next topic is President Trump
Told you.
disrespecting our military. This week, Trump disrespected the military once again by deciding to skip the transfer ceremony of 4 U.S. soldiers who died during a training exercise in Lithuania. What was so important that he couldn't make it to the ceremony? Having dinner with the Saudis at one of his golf resorts in Florida and then playing golf the following day. The dignified transfer ceremony took place at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware. The only member of the Trump clown show to attend was Ding Dong Pete Hegseth.
Let
Now-
me say something. Can I say one thing?
Yes.
Ding dong.
When you read these things to
Mm-hmm.
us, you get us to put on our boxing gloves the way that you read and say things. That last line, say it again. Say that
You
last
mean like
line.
No, hang on.
Horseface Harris?
Yeah, you
Say
guys
the
called
last
Kamala
one.
Harris. You guys called Kamala Harris horseface every episode we ever talked about her.
Say your last line.
And Sleepy
The-
Joe.
Shh.
The only member of the Trump clown show to attend was Ding Dong Pete Hegseth. Hello?
That makes me upset right there.
But you did it.
Yeah, you do it constantly. You call every time you talk about any Democrat.
Did
You have
you
some name for
like-
them.
Kamala Harris, did you like Biden?
Kamala Harris. No, I didn't.
No.
Horseface?
But I
Camel.
didn't call them names. And so I'm simply doing it to show you what it's like
Simply
from the
doing it.
other side.
So
This is
you
how
are
we
dating
experience-
us
He's a
because
communist.
he
He's a
likes
communist.
he likes to get us going.
He's a
No,
communist.
it has nothing to do with getting you going. It's simply
It has
dishing
to
back
do
to
with
you
he
what you
believes
do
in
to
communism.
us.
Okay, get off of
All
that.
right, so let me ask you this. Do you think that skipping a ceremony for fallen soldiers is okay if you're playing golf?
He sent a representative.
With
the
a
one
guy-
that you said was
Well,
bad.
He's
I-
playing golf, trying to get the peace deal done.
He was trying, yeah,
Okay.
with Saudi Arabia is a big peace thing
Bigger
in the middle
deal.
of Russia and Ukraine, which it is.
Which is a bigger deal.
But he probably should have attended that because I am very,
Okay.
yeah, he should have attended it. But then he sent in his behalf,
Hegseth.
yes. Now, I guess I do think that's okay. I would rather want that than
Mhm.
what happened to Biden, where he's watching his clock, falling asleep
Mhm.
when our Afghanistan guys came back. So
So being
So you-
present for it is not good
Trump
enough.
was at negotiation.
Well, there is no reason.
Trump,
Even
Trump
though-
was not at
Joe
negotiations.
Biden was there
on.
physically, but he wasn't present.
You said he was playing golf. He did earlier in the day, and then he went.
He was playing
to
golf.
Right. He also
While the stock
went
market is
with-
crashing.
met
With who?
with Saudi Arabian people,
He's playing
For
golf
peace
with the
talks.
guys to
But-
talk peace with.
but you guys don't see it that way. So that's
Not
Okay, so
only
wait a minute.
that, White House official posted him in his little golf cart, bragging about, how well he was doing at the fucking golf tournament.
Yeah,
There
do
you
you
go.
think it's okay for presidents to be playing golf when they should be doing political things for our country?
He was doing political things while he was playing
he
golf.
sent a representative.
All right.
You,
I have a clip
you
to
act
play
like,
for you.
you act like him driving around Saudi Arabia playing golf is not.
It wasn't Saudi
Political.
He
Arabia.
wasn't in Saudi Arabia, is in Marvel.
No, I said with the Saudis. Yeah,
Okay.
see,
No, you said in Saudi Arabia. I heard it.
Well,
Move on. Go.
Well, I do have a clip to play for you. If you're curious about what Trump thinks about politicians playing golf instead of doing their jobs, here's a clip. Let's take a look at this.
And how old's this clip?
Obama, it was reported today, played 250 rounds of golf.
Everything's executive order because he doesn't have enough time because he's playing so much golf.
Obama ought to get off the golf course and get down there.
I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf.
He played more golf last year than Tiger Woods.
That plays more golf than people on the PGA Tour.
I love golf. I think it's one of the greats, but I don't have time.
If I were in the
10-year-old clips.
I don't think I'd ever see Turnberry again. I don't think I'd ever see Doral again.
I'm not going to be playing much golf, believe me. If I win this, I'm not going to be playing much golf.
And he's not.
He literally was this weekend. That's what this whole
that's one time.
section is about.
That's one time.
And who was the president in the history that took more vacations than anyone and never even showed up? Sleepy Joe. But
we're not talking about Sleepy Joe. We are
we
talking
never
about
do. We never do. That's the problem.
We
Mr.
spent
Communist.
2 years talking about Sleepy Joe,
I'm
Mr.
gonna call
Communist.
him a
Trump is
communist
now
from
president.
on,
please
'cause he is.
I'll call you fascist from now on. How's that?
But you know what he
move
fucking
on.
is.
Move on. This is going nowhere.
You
It's
know
not
who
getting
killed
nowhere.
more? You know who killed more people in World War II than Hitler? Do you
No
know?
one?
Obama? Biden?
Stalin.
Okay.
And guess what Stalin was?
Fascist?
A communist.
Okay, move on.
Okay.
Chad.
No, because I want to.
More Russians were killed by their own people
Mhm.
in the entire war.
All right. I want to ask this question about
you
that
need
clip
to
I
do
played.
some of your Google fact finding.
All right. That clip that I played, where Trump is basically saying he would
Environment.
never play golf and golf is bad and politicians who play golf are not good politicians.
Yeah, those
You don't-
clips are 10, 15 years old.
10 or
I ain't gonna
15
give you-
years old.
I ain't going to give you 2 cents for them. Yeah,
Okay.
there's one in there that you played. It was 2008.
All
How
right.
many years is that, Chad?
You tell me.
17.
Nice. Quick math.
So
right,
you're playing shit. You're playing shit that doesn't matter.
All right.
Okay.
It's irrelevant.
All right.
And you're
Now
a
we've
communist.
got. Okay. I'm a communist and we've gotten very heated here. Dad, you seem very mad. So I want to try and simmer down a little bit. All right. You ready? What I want to ask is for each of us to go around and tell a brief story about something, a good memory you have from when you were in your 20s. Okay? Before Trump, before Biden, before Obama, probably before you were even politically active. Think back in your life to when you were in your 20s and tell a fun story. I'll start to give it a little tone, a little flavor. This is when I was in college. I was at a party, extremely drunk, and some guy at this party that I did not know said, "Hey, does anybody want to go touch the Hollywood sign?" And I was like, hell yes. And so a group of maybe 5 or 6 of us piled into this guy's car, who we didn't know, all drunk, drove up into Beechwood Canyon, climbed over some chain link fences, and I have put my hand on the H. And I will never forget that moment. It was a very LA Hollywood thing to have done.
So
And I
are we
was
just telling?
maybe 20 or 21.
Are we just telling like wild stories from college, or?
No, when you just sometime in your 20s. I just want us all to think back to the people we were before any of this political shit.
Okay. I mean, I was having children in my 20s.
So was mom and dad.
So, I mean, a lot of my memories of being in my 20s are motherhood. I have college stories like that where Conrad and I went out into the middle of nowhere. Who is now his sister-in-law, her last name was Buck. And she said, I always wanted one of those deer signs that you see on the side of the road, you know, because they're bucks. And this is not characteristic of Conrad at all, but we were probably mid-college at this point. Middle of the night, we got into his pickup with a handsaw, like a double-handed saw.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And we went out into the middle of nowhere and we
Cut
sawed
the
down
sign.
one of those signs. Yeah. Like
That's
it was
pretty wild.
Yeah, it actually was. He'd never done anything like that before.
Yeah.
So I have stories like that, but I think, I don't know, like when I didn't think about politics really ever was a time when I was a young mom. We could buy a house. We had 2 cars. We had food on the table, could buy clothes and shit. I got to stay home and raise the kids. Like that is a hard job. I'm not like minimizing what stay-at-home moms do. It was fucking hard, but easy in regard to I didn't have to worry about them losing their rights, me not having health care. So it's just like not as much stress, I guess. I was never as anxious. Like I wake up every morning now just kind of like wound up and what's going to hit me. So it was just a simpler time, I think, all together.
Okay. Mom, what was something you did in your 20s? Some fun moment?
I really didn't have much fun in my 20s. We were dirt poor. We were raising you as a baby. We had to work very hard. We had to get through school to get a job to make money. We were so dirt poor that one day we had no diapers and no milk. And I looked at your dad. I said, which one? And he said, I'll go in the store. I'll get the milk. We can figure out the other end later. Our 20s were hard. They were not easy.
There wasn't one fun moment?
We had to do everything for free. We couldn't pay to go to a movie. We couldn't pay anything to go do anything. So we would take you in the baby stroller and go to the zoo. That was fun times.
Okay. Dad?
Not one moment.
And it has continued. Oh my God.
You didn't have like a fun night out with your buddies even once?
I never went out with anybody's.
Okay.
Not once. Not one fucking time. No money.
And so you had no fun? It was just a decade of pure torture?
Oh, it was
the 20s were hard on us.
Not the whole 20s. I would say from probably about 19 to 25. Yeah, it's pretty damn hard.
Your dad always worked.
Well,
I worked.
What happened at age 26? There was some good times or no?
I had a job.
First job.
Okay. And what did that feel like when you got hired at that first job?
Wasn't that I just had money, a little bit of money to get started with.
No,
we didn't start out on the cush like you two
we
did.
didn't have a family to help us. We had a family and they were saying good job, wonderful, but they never gave us anything financial.
We had to pay all our school loans back.
Our loans back.
Nobody helped us.
So,
federal government didn't forgive all that shit like they do you fucking whiners.
So not possible to keep politics out of it or think back to a time prior to it. How about your 30s? Were there any fun moments then?
I got a fun moment Mom had in her 30s.
Work. I worked all the time.
I remember that one.
I got a fun moment from Mom's 30s.
Haley complains about her 15-hour days. I had them for 50 years.
I love how it's always competition.
I know.
Well, and I worked hard as you do longer than you ever have or will.
Okay.
And make more money and are taller and stronger and more beautiful. Okay, let's move on.
The rabbit and the eggs?
Yes, the rabbit and the eggs.
Is that what Haley's bringing up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goddamn.
For those, the story is my mom went out. Who was it with? Your cousin? Who did you go out and get drunk with, Mom? Dad was gone on some kind of a business trip or something. You went out, got
teachers homework.
Yeah, it's like tennis coach.
A great education system.
Just went out and got shit hammered and then came back and made me and Haley make her scrambled eggs. And Haley put our pet rabbit in the bed with her, and
I
she
didn't
woke up
know that
to
you
the rabbit eating
drink
the eggs.
Beer and apricot brandy together.
Peach. You had peach schnapps.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Mom,
that was the last time I think I ever drank in my life almost.
That is a fucking lie. That is a fucking lie.
Bad.
I've witnessed you drink. Okay, that's a fucking lie.
All right.
I mean,
let's move on. All right, here we go. Our fourth topic is Elon Musk loses. This week after broken dick Elon Musk went on Fox News to whine about Tim Walsh laughing at Tesla stock crashing. He also lost $25 million in a failed attempt to get a conservative judge elected to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Susan Crawford demolished Musk's candidate Brad Schimmel by a 10-point spread, despite Musk hemorrhaging tens of millions of dollars into Schimmel's campaign. Crawford's win means the Wisconsin Supreme Court maintains a liberal majority, which is more bad news for the Nazi saluter. Tesla has significant legal trouble in Wisconsin, where state law prohibits direct sales from manufacturers, making it impossible to open Tesla dealerships. Mom, Do you think this is an indicator that Musk has no more political power?
No, I think they just won. No big deal. I think everyone hates Musk because they are trying to get back at Trump.
Okay. You don't think that the hatred comes from seeing him on a stage with a chainsaw laughing and bragging about firing tens of thousands of people?
No.
He wasn't laughing and bragging about that. I saw that
Yes,
he was.
chainsaw thing.
Yeah.
He was cutting the fat.
Right.
People
the
have
fat is
lost their
people.
jobs. People have lost their jobs because of Doge. That is
Yeah.
100% Elon Musk.
Good.
All right.
I believe it's the people that never came to work.
Yeah.
That's
Or the
inaccurate.
people-
That is
Okay.
not true.
Move on.
Fat
This
slobs.
narrative that they're trimming the fat and that they're seeking out all of the fraud, it's bullshit.
All right, Dad, let me ask you this. Do you think billionaires should be able to try to buy state elections like this?
Sure, they have been doing it for 100 years.
Okay, so
And
not a
that-
big deal then.
No.
But you get mad when you believe George Soros does it.
No, I don't get mad. I'm just telling you how that happens.
All right.
Now
so
we
you're-
finally got a billionaire on the other side of the coin,
Finally.
and you don't like
I don't like it.
And you
But-
don't like
But
it.
look,
don't
both
have
parties are corrupted by huge mega donors, billionaires. Both sides are. I'm not arguing
Democrats
that at
are.
all.
Yep.
No.
You don't think the
George
Republicans are?
Soros, the difference between George Soros and
Wrong.
Elon Musk is George Soros wants to destroy America. Elon Musk does not.
Okay.
And George Soros did this very thing to the UK.
Now, let me ask you this. Mom, do you think because Elon Musk put $25 million behind this campaign, that is why they lost?
I don't know.
You guys would both agree that public sentiment is heavily against Elon Musk.
No, it's against Tesla.
It's against Trump through Musk
Okay.
right now.
But popular sentiment, you're full of shit. There's 77 million people who like what he's doing. There's probably 37 million people who don't. The difference is the 37 million people shoot their big mouth off more.
Okay.
Then why do you think his stock has cratered and lost 50% of its
Because
value?
nobody's going to buy a fucking car when a bunch of crazies are going to scratch it all up and set it on fire.
I see. So you think it's people just fear property damage against the car and it has nothing to do with ideology?
That's 100% accurate.
I think it's because they hate Trump. They're doing it.
Interesting. Haley, have you heard that Zuck, aka Mark Zuckerberg, head of Meta, head of Facebook, head of Instagram, head of WhatsApp, has purchased a $25 million mansion in DC next to the White House?
No. Oh
No.
my God.
Why would
Yeah.
he do that?
He may be the next Musk. There's a lot of stuff that I've been reading is basically saying that Musk is on his way out. He knows that this whole
Jesus.
plan was completely fucked. It has
I-
destroyed his car company, and now he's on shaky ground. So he's going to eject from politics, go back to being the billionaire leader of these companies, and then the
That's
next
as
in
credible
line.
as my ass with three holes.
This one is more dangerous.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we're talking about complete control of social media. We're talking
do.
about complete propaganda, 100%. You get no news. Like, this one is far more dangerous than Elon Musk, in my opinion.
Good. Maybe it'll shut you communists up.
I did read that where they were saying that Musk could be out, but then Donald Trump said no, his work is not done. He's leaving. He's going nowhere. He is not leaving. He's not going anywhere.
If Donald Trump said it, it must be true.
This is true.
I
He's the
think
man.
personally, I think Musk is about to bail. I think he's going to try and slink back to the shadows, and hopefully if he's not on TV all the time doing dumb shit, I think he hopes that his stock will go back up and all of his companies will be fine, because that's why he got into this in the first place, is to get more money for his companies, and now it's backfiring. So I think he's going to try to run back home, tail between the legs, and make everything good again. If Zuckerberg becomes the next billionaire who gets that first buddy role, and it may just be a rotating cycle. We know from Trump's first term, people only last about 2 or 3 months in the orbit of Donald Trump before he excommunicates them. So
Well, that
if
will
it
make
is,
you guys happy.
If Zuckerberg becomes first buddy, absolutely it will not make me happy. But I do think this, Zuckerberg has that same kind of thirst for fame that Musk does. We've seen it in all of whenever they do a new Facebook rollout, he's like front and center. Hey guys, let me show you about this and tell you about this. He wants to be on stage. And I think it will be, if he does that, it will be as big a disaster as it has been for Musk. I think people will wholesale stop using all of his products.
You know what the difference is between Elon and Soros is? Soros did it underneath and quietly, and people were saying, who's supplying this? Who's paying for this?
The thing,
Elon's right out in the front of your face.
The thing about Zuckerberg that you're missing, though, like you think everybody's just going to full stop Meta, and that's not true, because there are businesses that fucking rely on that shit, and I'm one of them.
Sure, that's fine.
I'm gonna have no choice but to continue using fucking Facebook and Instagram.
And we need TikTok. We need TikTok.
Well,
so that's
Jeff Bezos seemingly is in line to buy TikTok, but they have extended the ban date. It was supposed to be April 7th. They extended it another 75 days, so we don't know.
So is there a new platforming coming? Someone else?
Somebody's always making a new platform, and it just requires certain circumstances in society to be correct for that platform to kind of like take steam. But the idea that all people will continue to use these things is not right. I agree with you. Businesses are going to have to, if that's where you are generating most of your revenue. Or sorry, am I bothering you guys?
I told him, don't act like you're going to sleep. And I said, that's rude. And he said, I'm just closing my eyes.
Jesus Christ. All I ask is an hour a week to talk to your kids.
We're here.
To listen to you read?
No, we're having a conversation, Dad. Can you do that? Not. I'm asking you as your son to talk to your kids for an hour a week. That's all.
Yeah, so I can listen to your communist plot.
All right. I don't even remember what I was saying. Instagram. I think the general user, it's actually easier to say, nah, fuck it, delete the app. And if that user number goes down, all their advertising revenue falls off the table. Even if businesses are using it to promote their products and their brand and all this kind of stuff, if the people aren't on it to get that advertising, it's over. That's lights out.
Well, that's going to sink. That is literally going to sink industries.
He's trying to tell us we don't know what we're talking about.
Are you talking about Instagram?
Yeah. Well, any of the Mark Zuckerberg products, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, those are the big ones.
I'm like that. Every day we talk about like what our game plan is for the next, 5-10 years. Cause we have 3 kids. Like, are we going to hit a fucking depression? Are we going to have to put tiny homes in our backyard? Like, I don't fucking know what's going to go on. And all these tariffs. And now Zuckerberg might be fucking propaganda left and right. Like, I don't know if I'm going to have that revenue. We have no idea what's going to happen. It's terrifying.
That's why the stock market is tanking. People are scared shitless.
So
everyone
no stability.
Is terrified.
Spend more money.
That's the way
everyone is terrified.
That's the way we felt when Biden was the president. So you kind of now feel the way we did when he was in there.
Yours is irrational and based off of hatred for Biden and your love of Trump. It wasn't based on reality.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Move on.
Biden's stock market never erased $6 trillion of value in 2 days.
It'll come back.
That's an objective fact.
Will make us so much stronger, and
it's
then you
because
employment rates were up, homelessness was down, everything was kind of on an uptick, and now we're all in the fucking shitter.
All right, let's move on. We have 2 more topics I want to get to quickly. The next one is Trump's 3rd term. This week, Orange Face once again showed his lack of respect for the Constitution by suggesting he might seek a 3rd term in office despite the clear prohibition outlined in the 22nd Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Just listen to the facts, just real quick, Dad. It takes me 30 seconds to get through this.
Listen.
These aren't facts.
Go ahead.
That is a fact. He did say that he's thinking about running for a 3rd term. Yes. I'll give you the exact quote.
You know that.
In a March 30th interview with NBC News, Trump said, "There are methods which you could do it, and a lot of people want me to do it." One potential method Trump mentioned involves Vice President J.D. Vance running for president with Trump as his vice president. Then Vance would resign after being elected, allowing Trump to assume the presidency.
I didn't hear that one.
Critics argue that Trump's suggestions reflect authoritarian tendencies. Senator Chris Murphy warned that such rhetoric could erode democratic institutions, stating, "This is what dictators do." Mom, Do you think this is what dictators do?
Maybe, but he won't run. I mean, I don't think he'll run. He won't run.
Why is he talking about it?
It'll be Vance or maybe Barron, maybe Barron, but he won't run. But you know what he did? I saw he said something like, "If we can do 3, bring Obama back. He'd love to run against Obama again." That's what he said. Bring him.
That would be an interesting election. Dad,
That
are
would
you
be,
okay
wouldn't
with
it?
him trying to get a third term?
Yeah.
He can't.
But are you okay with it?
Obama can't run.
Why?
Why?
He had them back to back. Trump did not.
Okay, so what does that mean? Why would that matter?
You can only run two
consecutive.
You can only run consecutive terms once.
Okay. Well, then Trump, by what you've just stated, would not be able to have another term right after this one.
Yes, he would.
Okay.
Yeah, it would be a second because
this would be his first. If
between.
he ran 47 and 48, that's only one time that he did concurrent.
Okay, and that matters to you for some reason.
Yes.
He won't run.
It's the law, you dumb shit.
Oh God.
I don't know why you think that when he tells you that I'm trying to do these things, why don't you believe him?
Well,
he's literally talking about a third term. Why do you think he will run?
I think it was like a joke. It would be funny.
I believe it.
The way he was talking about it.
Let me ask you, Mom, you use this argument, this defense of things Trump says a lot. He's just joking. How do you tell if he's joking or telling the truth? I don't have that ability. I take everything he says to be pretty much true, that we have to at least believe what he's saying here.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I guess
you don't take anything he says to be true.
I do. What are you talking? When he says I grab women by the pussy, I think he did do that.
I knew you were going to say that.
You just said you didn't believe him on the 48.
No, I do believe that he's going to try to do this.
Oh, goddamn. Go on with your pussy story.
Oh,
he shouldn't
it's not my story, it's Trump's.
He shouldn't be able to run again, I think, is what we're trying to say. But I do think he's going to try.
I do too.
I don't know. What time will tell.
And would you guys be okay with that? I assume yes.
There's anybody on the Democratic side? No one. There's no one over there.
What do you mean?
Well, hopefully AOC.
I'm not.
Oh, I knew.
Who cares who the?
Oh my God.
That'll be a cold day.
Move on, Chad.
No, we're not moving on because this is very important. One of the cornerstones of the American presidential process is that president can only have 2 terms. You're talking about if they're non-consecutive or not.
No,
that doesn't
they gotta
matter.
Be consecutive.
No, the 22nd Amendment says you get 2 terms, period. It doesn't matter if they're consecutive or not.
I'm going to have to Google.
I'm going to have to go to sleep.
Changing this is changing, you're talking about communism, it's changing the fundamental fabric of American democracy. If we have a president coming in and saying, I don't care what the Constitution says, I'm going to stay in this chair for as long as I want. You don't think that's bad?
He didn't say it like that.
This is a gateway for that.
Oh,
okay. A gateway.
Constitutionally
thanks for clearing that up.
changing.
You political geniuses, thanks for clearing that up.
I don't think he'll run. He just mentioned it. I think it was a joke. He's not going to run.
Mm-hmm.
You two know less about politics than you think you do.
All right.
Okay.
Dad, you have said multiple times in this very episode, but over the course of the past couple of weeks as well, that Trump is law. Trump is the law. Do you think that we still have 3 branches of government that are equal and can check and balance one another?
Yeah, the problem is now our executive branch has to offset the judicial branch, which has been tainted and ruined.
Talking.
What, Mom?
And therefore, Donald Trump is the law.
He's rocking the chair, and our microphone is going to fly off of here in a minute.
All right. So you think then that the executive has absorbed the judicial system and there's only 2 branches?
No, I think it needs to absorb the judicial system.
So, okay, so you're for
until we
a
get
complete...
it fixed.
So you're talking about communism, but you're...
No, I'm not talking about communism. I'm talking about nationalism. There's a huge difference.
No, you're calling us communists basically as an insult to say that we are not Americans, maybe that we're not into American democracy.
No, you're not nationalists, which means you believe that Joe Monkey over there sitting next to you, your kitty cat, should get as much money as you do, no matter how hard you work.
I'll be back.
That's communism.
Okay. Where did Mom go?
Peeing.
Jesus Christ. Well, I want you here for this next topic, Mom, the final one.
Yeah, I think she's right. Just talk a little more.
I think everybody in the United States certainly deserves medical care, certainly should be able to buy a home.
Who doesn't
be
have
able to make a livable wage.
Who doesn't have that?
Millions of people.
Who?
350,000 people.
Name me 4 people you know personally.
350,000 people, I think, this year went bankrupt.
350,000
went
of
bankrupt.
360 million. You're
this year
in a fan.
Went bankrupt because of medical bills.
In a fan.
I'm back.
Okay.
You know how many went bankrupt in fucking France?
Had to tap
None.
a kidney.
Yeah. Look
because
how
they have universal health care.
France is about to go bankrupt.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right.
What are we talking about?
Let's move on to our final topic, the hands-off protests. Yesterday, nationwide hands-off protests unfolded across the United States with over 1,000 individual demonstrations in cities all over the country in opposition to Trump and Musk and their recent policies, including reductions in federal programs, layoffs with the education department, defunding of...
Doze off.
We're listening. I said I want to talk about this
Every
one.
time
Go.
I start reading one of these things, you guys start talking to each other and insulting me. Why do you do that?
I am not insulting you. I said I want to talk about this one.
I asked you this question. Why do you do it?
Do what?
Why do you talk when I'm reading these things? And Dad, why do you groan?
When you're reading these things, I don't care what you're saying.
Why not?
Because they're all made up horse shit.
Okay.
Then just remain silent.
Hang on. No. Dad, you think this is made up? Yesterday, nationwide hands-off protests unfolded across the United States with over 1,000 individual demonstrations in cities all over the country. Do you agree that that happened or not? Dad?
Yes.
Do you agree that that happened?
Yes.
And now he's doing some kind of childish silent treatment.
Toddlers.
I was
Toddler Bobby.
And now I'm asking you a direct question. I want to take this piece by piece.
Am I supposed to shut up or answer your bullshit?
You're supposed to answer this question. Do you believe that protests happened yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm saying then is not bullshit. It's not made up. You agree with it.
No.
Yes.
You make it sound like it's half the country. It's such a small, minute segment of America. It's ridiculous.
Said there were.
It's not even worth fucking mentioning.
Okay. Well, I
now
believe it is because
all I'm going to say.
All right.
I believe it is because your daughter was at one of these protests in Dallas.
Don't make it right.
But do you believe it's worth mentioning to discuss what we all do during the course of the week?
No.
Yes. Go.
Do you have interest in our lives?
I don't.
You have no interest in me and Haley's lives.
Not if you're going to go protest America.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this then, just on a kind of...
No, you're done asking me. Ask your mother.
No, you're the one who's saying you don't have interest in our lives. What would you like to talk to us about?
Giving up communism and being a nationalist.
But what if we don't have interest in that, just like you don't have interest in Haley going to a protest?
And you would sit there and be bumps on a log.
All right. So you can only speak to us.
No, it's okay for me. It's okay for me to have to answer horse shit, but it's not okay for you to change your mind.
No, I'm not asking you to change your mind. I'm having a conversation with you about these things.
I'm not changing my mind, and until you two start changing your mind, I don't really have a lot to add.
Okay, well, there you have that. Mom, do you have interest in your children's lives?
Chad, what kind of question is that?
I just asked Dad, and he said no. No, you do.
I don't.
He's
not.
Chad,
he's not a nationalist.
Let me ask you: do you have interest in our lives?
I fucking created a podcast that I'm doing with you every week
created-
because I want
you-
you in my life and I'm interested in your lives.
Then why did you ask me that stupid question?
Because
If
the guy
we-
sitting right next to you said no.
'Cause
He
he's a
answered that
communist.
question, no.
Finish what you fucking wrote. Finish it.
The end of it is it was boycotting Trump and Musk and their recent policies, including reductions in federal programs, layoffs within the education department, defunding of cultural institutions, new tariffs, and attacks on the LGBTQ plus community. Haley, you were at one of these protests. How was it?
So I didn't organize this, first of all. Some Democratic kind of leaders in our area organized one in the square where my business is. And they did that, I think, on purpose because they know that we are there. So 50 people came and then 100, and I was looking out the window like, holy fuck, there were at least 1,000 people out there in our town of Flower Mound that's notorious for being like right-wing conservative, like all the shit. It's Majah here.
Yeah.
So to see like 1,000 people out there kind of chanting and rebelling and resisting this shit, very encouraging. The one in Dallas was even bigger. I had to bake because we were selling out like left and right. Everyone was coming into the bakery. It was fucking madness. So I had to bake a little bit, but I went out there for a little while just to kind of like see the people and like see what the shit was and hear them speaking and to see that here. Like in this red pocket, to see all these people fucking pissed. It's encouraging because it lets you know that you're certainly not alone. I think there's a lot more of us than people realize, even in these like really conservative areas. I saw my merch on a ton of people.
That's cool.
And people are sending me photos from all around the country. People in Boston, New York, DC. They're like, I'm wearing your shit. Because we have become synonymous with this movement. And originally your simmer down was like, you told us, do you think that you've changed the world in some way?
Oh, yeah.
And then you fucking switched it.
But because I was trying some new technique. It didn't work. I thought maybe it would get mom and dad to think about like a better, simpler time, but they refused to engage with it.
So, well, that resonates with me because I do think I have. In my own way, in my own, small part of whatever fucking place this is, whatever world we're living in, I see shit like that and I hear people literally telling me, we're here because of you. You did this, So to acknowledge that like what I'm doing matters, that like the merch and the, all of this shit, it's not for nothing. Like all these people have found a voice in a voiceless community because I had the balls to fucking say you can do it too. And so, yeah, I feel like we're making a difference. I do. It matters.
That made you a lot of money though too, didn't it?
I mean, yeah, we had people coming in left and right. My
So you want more protests?
Well, my supporters, like the people who come into my bakery every day, are like-minded individuals. It's always been that way because I've always said my piece.
Here's what I want to say about those protests. I follow this one guy on Instagram, David Harris Jr., and he said for sure, he had a clip where these people were in Maryland, hopping on buses, going to DC, being handed the same exact protesting signs done with the same handwriting. There are organizations out there that you can go to, that you can get online and become a member of. They pay you. And there were paid people on some of those buses going to protest.
We're done for today.
Now, maybe not in Farmville, Texas. Yeah, did you hear that?
Yeah.
This has just been hell today. This has been like the worst one.
But you realize the hands-off protests, they were nationwide. You realize there were like, I think I read almost 5 million people.
Yeah.
Woo.
Nobody's paying them.
Yes, they are paying people.
Nobody's paying these people.
But you said
people...
that's okay. It doesn't matter, Mom and Dad. You said that's fine. Elon Musk tried to buy
As long as it's
Wisconsin
not
Supreme Court
violent, as
election.
long as they're not
Are we going to drag this
burning
fucking
things
thing on?
up and hurting people. That's
So
their
that's
own.
what's gonna come. That's what's gonna come next. Because when people start losing jobs, can't eat, can't buy homes, that's what comes next.
The tariffs are going to make things better. Give it time. Quit whining.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. That wraps up our show. We didn't get to talk about Cory Booker's 25-hour marathon speech, which I think was largely
Thank
pointless.
God.
But
Did you know that he was vegan? You know he's a vegan?
I didn't know that.
Why would
I was
that
like-
matter?
Good for him.
Why would that matter?
Makes him
Thought it was
twice as
interesting.
stupid.
Okay.
It's harder
go
to
ahead.
stay awake 25 hours if you're vegan. Thank you everyone for joining us. Again, if you guys out there have a question you want any of us or all of us to answer, just record it in a 1 minute or shorter video, hopefully, or audio clip. Send it to thenecessaryconversationpod@gmail.com. Before we go, as always, despite, Dad, the fact that you seemingly hate me and Haley and you think we're communists, I do love you. And that is why I'm doing this every week, talking to you guys for an hour. Mom, I love you too.
Try an
despite
hour
all
and
of you.
20 minutes.
We've been recording for an hour and 5 minutes. That's the
Go ahead.
accurate
Yeah.
time.
We
Mom,
run
I
over.
do love you. And I know you've got a lot to put up with there, sitting to your left. Haley, I love you as well. And I'm very proud of you for going out and protesting this week. I do think it's important that we keep doing that we keep at least making our voices heard, even though it wasn't covered that well in mainstream media.
I will say I have a lot of people come into the bakery who tell me they listen to the pod, who say their parents are a lot like our parents. And they like break down and cry. And they say like, I don't know how to patch it up. I don't know how to talk to my own parents, but they watch our pod. And I think they're slowly kind of like getting the courage to kind of do it, to finally have the necessary conversations. But there is something happening here that does matter. I get a lot of people that either write me or come into the bakery and tell me. So it's not for nothing. Mom, I love you. Dad, I love you. Chad, I love you.
I love everybody except the communists. You better not be one.
Chad and Haley, I love you. Bob, I love you. I think we need to get off politics for a while. This is killing me. We need to do something else next time. Let's do something other than
you want to do an well, it depends on what happens next week, because I do think it's important to talk about this stuff. But yeah, I'll put together a little non-political episode that we can do in the near future.
Cut it off.
God damn it. Okay.
You just won't shut up.
You're not going to tell us you love us?
I did. I said I
No.
love everybody.
Except the communists, and you called me a communist in this very episode.
You need to become a nationalist.
All right.
Work
Mom,
on it.
I thought you were a libertarian.
Work on it.
I'm not. What? A libertarian? What are you talking?
Like a libertarian.
Oh my
or
God!
something.
You just keep him going. You shut
Thank
up.
you.
Haley, be careful at those protests. Be careful.
Now you may be thinking the wrong side's going to get violent.
All right.
All the MAGA here are fucking. Literally, one of them who posts shit in like a group here called Flower Mound Cares.
Why did I talk?
Sat in his car and filmed it from his car, so he could take it to this group and like shit talk.
Are you saying
they're not gonna do anything?
Are you saying they're
Huh?
chickens? You saying
They're all chicken.
Oh,
Yeah, they're
Oh,
all
okay.
fucking chicken shit.
All right.
Okey-doke.
We'll see.
right.
We will see you all next week.
This was bad. This was a bad one.